Hey guys, and welcome back to another Random Distractions gameplay of Batman Telltale series, The Enemy Within. And in the last one, we got back to the Batcave and we have some files that we're going through. We read through the Gotham feed and now we're going to take a look at the other stuff. And I did look up that Wayne Barton name because it was like, who is that? That sounds so familiar, but I couldn't find anything on Google, so if anybody knows who that is, let me know in the comments. But let's resume. So let's look at the Codex next, since that's what we used to have in the other one too. James Gordon. Over the past year, my partnership with Jim has flourished. I finally won his trust, and Gotham City is a better place for it. Batman used to be hidden in the shadows, but Jim has helped me step into the light and find legitimacy. For that, I'm grateful. I think Jim is finally settling into his new role as police commissioner. It's been a difficult transition, and I don't think he'll ever be comfortable with the tragic way he received his promotion. But I trust he'll use his newfound authority to make this city a better place. Gotham is lucky to have him, and so am I. I couldn't ask for a better partner. Renee Montoya. Things are looking up for Jim Gordon's favorite true blue cop. Renee Montoya was recently promoted to detective after she was exonerated of the murder of Carmine Falcone. It was evidence I provided that proved she was under the influence of Lady Arkham's drugs when she committed the crime. I admire Renee's dedication to law enforcement and fierce loyalty to Jim. It's evident that she lives for her work, often at the cost of her personal life. Sounds like a problem we both share. Lucius Fox. There would be no Batman without Lucius Fox. In a sense, he's built me. From Batsuit to Batmobile, everything I am, everything I've become, I owe to him. A brilliant engineer and trusted confidant, Lucian is one of the few people I can depend on in this world. In addition to being Wayne Enterprises' technological leader, I've entrusted him to run a secret R&D wing where he designs and develops new bat tech. Alfred Pennyworth. I am not my father's son. I am Alfred's. After my mother and father were murdered, he was the one who did the hard work of raising me. It couldn't have been easy for him, making sure he instilled the right values and steered me away from the vices of my father. Steadfast, true, and compassionate, Alfred knows me better than anybody. Certainly better than I know myself. He's my moral compass and my best friend. Last year, he was kidnapped by Lady Arkham. I'm still riddled with guilt over what happened. I just hope he can recover from the emotional trauma of the ordeal. Iman Avesta. It was Special Agent Iman Avesta who handed me the psychological profile on Riddler. I don't know much about her other than that she's a Gotham native, and seems to have the confidence of Amanda Waller. She's also a huge fan of Batman, which is somewhat relieving. Maybe I can use that to my advantage in further dealings with the agency. Amanda Waller. I got my first glimpse at Amanda Waller outside the casino after Riddler's grisly attack on Rumi Mori. A former congressional aide and political science PhD, Waller's irrepressible ambition has shot her straight to the top of the government's top covert law enforcement organization, the agency. She's recently been promoted to regional director with a jurisdiction that spans the entire northeastern United States, including Gotham City. Gordon doesn't seem to like her that much, is clear. Understandable. She's a force of nature who's threatening his turf. I just wish I knew more about her intentions towards Gotham. She seems like she could be a powerful friend, but an even more powerful enemy. Vernon Blake. Special Agent Blake, Avesta's terse partner. I met him as Batman after Riddler's attack on the casino. Not much to say about him at the moment. The Riddler. The Riddler is an old name in Gotham, one we thought was gone for good. He was dangerous enough that even Carmine Falcone, Mayor Hill, and my father left him alone. An international terrorist wanted by Interpol and hunted by the agency. The Riddler's modus operandi is to torture and kill his marks by forcing them to solve his macabre riddles. According to the agency's profile on him, Riddler's got a genius-level IQ and exhibits signs of narcissistic and obsessive-compulsive personality disorders. He's cruel, calculating, and merciless, and I will bring him down. Rumi Mori. There are two sides to Rumi Mori, the face he shows to the public and the person he really are. And the person he really are? I think he should have been the person he really is. The person he keeps in the shadows. Hidden from the prying eyes of polite society, Mori wants everyone to believe he's a model citizen. He paints his public persona with philanthropy and a seemingly legitimate business empire. But take a closer look behind the mask, and you'll catch a glimpse of the real Rumi Mori. War profiteer and murderer. He made his fortune running guns during the Arab Spring, and soon after diversified into high-tech weaponry. Of course, Mori's illicit activities have never been proven in the court of law. Riddler had some bone to pick with Maury. Perhaps that's why he targeted him at the Virago. It's not surprising a man like that would have enemies. I wonder how he made one of the Riddler. Yeah, they had some sort of deal that they backed out of. The agency, one of the nation's most clandestine national security organizations. The agency operates in the darkest shadows of the criminal justice system. Not much is known about their day-to-day operations, but what little information I can dig up about them is that the agency's influence is awe-inspiring, stretching across international borders and reaching the highest echelons of political power. Thomas Wayne, my father and possibly the worst criminal this city has ever known. Thomas Wayne. I once thought he was a hero, a man who died trying to protect my mother and I from the bullet of a common crook. I was wrong. I found out the truth about my father not long ago. He wasn't the philanthropic doctor he pretended to be. He was a monster who amassed our family's fortune, or our family's wealth, by drugging and gaslighting Gotham's wealthiest and families and robbing them of their fortunes. He devastated lives and destroyed minds. To rob someone of their sanity is one of the worst things you can do to a person. I would know. Lady Arkham robbed me of mine as recompense for my father's sins. I hope that debt is paid. I want nothing more than to leave his dark legacy in the past. Martha Wayne, my mother, the mystery. I witnessed her in my father's assassination when I was just a child, so my memories of her are a few and... So my memories of her are... are few and far between, but I cherish each one. It's unclear what she knew or how involved she was with my father's crimes, but there's a part of me who wants to believe the best about her. Maybe she was left in the dark. Maybe she tried to stop him. I just don't know. I need to believe that there is a part of me that is good, and that part is my mother. Gotham City, population 10.5 million. Gotham City is more than my hometown, it's my passion project. When I look out onto that skyline, I don't see a city. I see a living, breathing organism that keeps evolving, adapting to new threats. I must adapt with it. The criminals at this place of tracks are no different. There was a time when all you had to worry about was wise guys and street thugs, but crime, too, has evolved. The crime rate might be down, but the villains are becoming more and more bizarre, more terrifying. Sometimes I think crime is a virus that keeps mutating into more virulent strains, and the city is sick with it. I'll let Batman be the cure. Arkham Asylum, established November 1921. Gotham City's only maximum security psychiatric hospital. I was committed here for a couple of days after I was drugged by Lady Arkham and was incited to attack Oswald Cobblepot. So this place doesn't exactly hold the best memories for me. That's one of the reasons I'm renovating it. Once outdated and dilapidated, Wayne Enterprises has promised to bring this antiquated asylum into the 21st century by turning it into a state-of-the-art mental health facility. Wayne Enterprises, established 1870. Multinational corporation founded by my ancestors, covering all manner of technology, manufacturing, and finance. I inherited a majority stake from my parents and have recently become more involved in its day-to-day operations. So far, so good. Stocks are up, and Wayne Enterprises' R&D department is developing some pretty exciting new technologies. Crime Alley, Park Row, Gotham City. The squalid downtown alley where my parents were assassinated. The street across from the Monarch Theater is the place my childhood ended and the rest of my life began, violently. I installed a plaque there to honor my parents, before I knew the truth of my father's criminality. Gotham City Police Department HQ. The GCPD is Gotham's first line of defense against criminals both mundane and bizarre. When Monster Carmine Falcone was in power, he kept at least half the force in his pocket. But not all of them. James Gordon was one of the few he couldn't corrupt. Since Falcone and Mayor Hill were taken down, Gordon has worked to clean up the corruption in the department. Crime rates have fallen dramatically since Gordon took over as police commissioner. Since Wayne Enterprises pledged to rebuild Arkham Asylum, the GCPD has worked closely with the facility to determine which criminals should go to Arkham for rehabilitation and which ones belong in Blackgate Prison. And I think that's the last one. Sorry for all that reading on this video. I think that's all we're going to have a chance to do.
The agency. The public face of a shadow committee of military leaders, intelligence experts, and government officials. Civil rights violations, domestic black sites, decentralized accountability.
This information, it's all before Waller took over the director position. Perhaps she's given them a new direction.
Maybe. But the agency's empowered to override local law enforcement with impunity.
That man's got some competition in town. I wonder if we need be worried. Losing our unpaid and thoroughly exhausting job, I mean.
We have a common enemy in the Riddler. That puts us on the same side.
You really are a different Batman these days, aren't you? Silver linings in all things.
Well, you warned me about keeping my paranoia down to acceptable levels. Thought I'd give it a try.
Oh, good. So we didn't have to read much.
Yes. Riddler terrorized this city long before you were Batman.
Gotham's original costumed criminal.
Yes, to have him returned, it's unsettling. I remember when he was the scourge of the underworld. Even Carmine Falcone gave him a wide berth. He was presumed dead for so long. Why come back to Gotham?
Well, he seemed to have a prior relationship with Mori. Some kind of axe to grind. Let me upload the rest of this to the Codex. The agency realized Riddler was still alive when he orchestrated a prison break at Peñadoro.
My men here say you let yourself get caught, Mr. Riddler.
Just Riddler.
Why willingly turn yourself in?
Oh, Mr. Warden, to get everyone else out, of course. That wasn't obvious.
The man's deranged. If you ask me, he needs help. He's clearly sick. The man is in urgent need of a doctor.
I know just the place for him. Plenty of room at Arkham Asylum.
Next to him, most of the inmates seem like a picture of health.
What was that?
You should see your face. Its confusion is delightful. I think I'll take it with me.
I take everything back.
So let's see, did that update something on the Codex, or I don't see anything. Okay.
Let's see what Riddler's little gift is all about.
Solve my puzzles soon, or people will get hurt. Riddler's M.O. hasn't changed in all these years.
Oh, it's a record.
Right along the rim. I have an eye, yet cannot see. Who am I?
A storm?
I've heard it before.
Don't happen to remember the answer, do you?
Sadly, no.
I have a hurricane, maybe. I have an eye, but cannot see. One-eyed Jack, blind justice. I mean, he did mention something, or that other guy mentioned something about the heavens.
Hurricane.
It fits the description in the riddle, but I'm not sure how it helps us. Even if there were hurricanes in Gotham, it's hard to imagine one helping us with the object in question. If that is indeed the key.
It does almost look like a record, though.
But how does that relate to the object in question?
Maybe it's telling us how to use it.
Sounds very plausible.
Look at these strange grooves.
I think it's a record. Movie tickets. Oh, you got the movie ticket still here.
Never forget.
Yep, never forget. No, don't use the bad computer. Let's go to the phonograph over here.
Needle. A record needle.
Halfway there, Batman. Means you've got half a chance of stopping a whole lot of pain. To be honest, you're already doing better than I thought. But don't sit around feeling pleased with yourself, unless you want to see me tear this city apart.
I suppose you're going to look in there.
An open invitation from the Riddler? Of course. Huh. Looks like I'm manipulating radio bands or waveforms. Something. I'm not sure what I'm looking at or how any of it is actually displaying.
And that sound.
What? Oh, I'm not really sure about any of it. Get Lucius on the line, will you?
Hey, Alfred.
Good morning, Lucius. I hope we're not interrupting your breakfast.
My youngest is probably stealing all the bacon, but duty calls. What's up?
This is a puzzle from the Riddler. There's a strange waveform pattern I can manipulate inside that needs your expertise.
Yeah, okay. I can meet you at Wayne Tower in a little bit. We'll, fire up the R&D lab.
I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important, Lucius.
No, don't worry about it. It's actually gonna be a big day for me. Tiffany starts at Wayne Enterprises.
Tiffany? Really?
Your daughter working alongside you. How wonderful.
Certainly is. Bruce, I'll see you soon.
Bye, Lucius. Can't wait to see Tiffany.
Oh, that's interesting. Can actually access the back computer anytime from the main menu. All right, I'll go ahead and stop it there, guys. So thanks again for joining me for another Random Distractions. Sorry about all the reading there at the very beginning, but at least we're caught up there, and we should have less as it goes on. But yeah, so wonder what those waveforms were in that record thing. I don't know what that means, but I guess we'll figure that out here in the next one. But so far, that's pretty interesting, and yeah, look forward to seeing what comes next. Until then, I would definitely appreciate a like on the video, of course, and make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when the next one drops. And hope you have a good one.